Greetings to all melanated people all around the world. It's really a joy, it's a blessing. It's an honor to be out here in nature and greeting you. Bring a message of emancipation to you, a message that will set you free. And in the background is a running river. And you might hear the song of this running river. And I like to do my videos out here in nature and next to this river, because this river always reminds me of this journey of life, whereby we move from humanity into divinity, because every river always ends in the sea, and the sea have no beginning, it have no end. So the sea is like eternity. Okay, so even our life is mapped out in nature. Thus the reason why I want to speak to you concerning our ancestor Abdullah, who was the mentor of Neville, Goddard. And many people around the world today treasured Neville, Goddard, and is uplifting the messages or lectures of Neville, Goddard, while many are not even mentioning our ancestor Abdullah. But what I want to bring across to you this day is Abdullah and the Ark of the Covenant, because Abdullah taught Neville that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically, that the Bible is not literal, neither is the Bible secular history. And most black people believe that the Bible is literal and the Bible is secular history, and all of that came about because of what was taught to them through slavery. Thus the reason why this message have to come to you at this time, to restore you and show you what the Ark of the Covenant really means. Now when you read about the Ark of the Covenant in the Bible, it always tells you that the people of God or the people of Israel, whenever they walk in the ways of the Almighty, and we know the Almighty is the creative power within us, we come to understand that God is life and that life is God, and you can't separate God from life or life from God. So when I speak about the Almighty, I'm speaking about the creative power in man. I'm speaking about our own human imagination, which is the creator in man. For without him there isn't anything made that was made, and all things was made by him. That him is a personification of our own human imagination. Okay? So whenever they walk in the ways, they will always win all of their battles. And they will always get to keep the Ark of the Covenant in their midst. And as long as they have the Ark of the Covenant in their midst, they win all of their battles. But when they lose of the battle against the enemy would even steal the Ark of the Covenant away from them. And instead of they live in prosperity, they would live in mediocrity. They would live in poverty. And they always have to be a messenger, a prophet, an enlightened one, an awakened one, who have to come to bring a message to restore them, to show them where they have moved away from. So here was Abdullah bringing back to us the Ark of the Covenant. And the Ark of the Covenant could not be carried by any and anyone. The Ark of the Covenant could be carried no other place but upon the shoulder of the Levites. And when it says that the Ark of the Covenant only could have been carried on the shoulder, it is teaching you of all of this right here. This is what it's talking about. Because here resides the commander in the command center, but the commander is invisible. So here it is speaking of the Ark of the Covenant, but it's speaking about the Ark of the Covenant in a parable. It is speaking about the human mind. It is speaking about understanding that the Creator is in you, that the kingdom of God is within you. So my brothers and my sisters, when we went away from what our ancestors would have taught us, to know thyself. That was where we lost the battle and end up in slavery. Not just physical slavery, but mental slavery also. And the Ark of the Covenant was taken away from us. And when you read the Bible tells you that when the Ark of the Covenant was taken away from Israel, and Israel means to rule as God. The people who knew how they were supposed to rule as God. How they were supposed to use their mind power to achieve their every desire. He said when they lost to the enemy, that they had a king named David, and he wanted us to restore them completely. And we know that David represents humanity. But it says that David wanted us to bring back the Ark of the Covenant and a donkey cart. Showing you that there's a people who want to renew their mind, but they want to do it anyhow. There's a people who want to come back to self-realization, but they're trying to do it through religion. They're trying to do it through a man-made system and a man-made philosophy. That's the reason why many of our people still trapped in secular Christianity. But it tells you that the cart on which the Ark of the Covenant was on is shook. Teaching about vibration, frequency and energy. And it tells you that there was one by the name of Uzzah who tried to put forth his hand to stop the fall of the Ark of the Covenant. And that God strike him dead. What is teaching you? All of these preachers and tele-evangelists who trying to restore people who have lost their mind and who have been enslaved both physically and psychologically. Every time they reach out with a false gospel, they're bringing more death in the camp. Then there must be an enlightened one who must come and say we got to get the Levites, we have to have the right men, who have the right experience, the true witnesses, to bring the Ark of the Covenant home. That's the reason why, my brother and my sisters, Abdullah was restoring the Ark of the Covenant back to us by teaching Neville Goddard that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. That the Bible is not literal, neither is it secular history. And showing that there's a people who is bound in mental slavery and need to free their mind by walking away from secular Christianity, whereby they are worshipping a white idol that was given to them and believing in a God outside of themselves instead of believing in a God within themselves. And so today, many are willing to give to you, the student who is Neville Goddard. So you could give all praises and all thanks to him and uplift him and put him on a pedestal. While many who are gullible and just after getting material things would want a whole and just manifestation and forget about their true identification, their true spirituality, their true identity. But Abdullah was pointing us how to come back to our true spirituality, how to come back to our true identity, and to understand what was done to us through slavery. And how we must understand that we must go beyond skin color and understand that everything is mental, that everything falls at heart. So when people like me bring a message across like this, it is not to get you to vibrate and race and slavery and what was done to you, but to point you to look within yourself, to discover the creative power, and to prove for yourself that Abdullah, our ancestor, had brought back the Ark of the Covenant to restore our people again, that they could live triumphantly, that they could live in good health and prosperity, that they can know that they can manifest their own reality consciously. So my brother and my sisters, the Ark of the Covenant is not what they told you. The Ark of the Covenant is the well restored mind of any man and any woman in this world who have come to true self-realization and who have come to true enlightenment, knowing exactly who they are and knowing that they are one with the Creator, and they can use their mind power to create their reality consciously. So that being said, my brother and my sisters, I'm encouraging you to do as they say that David did. He began to dance and rejoice because the Ark of the Covenant has come back to Israel. And he danced until there wasn't no clothes left upon him. We have to become so aware and so enlightened of who we are that we have to forget about all the onlookers, all the haters, all the criticizers, and get into the mood of happiness, get into the feeling of achievement, get into the feeling of being an overcomer, and dance. But you're saying be happy, rejoice, because you come to realize your true self, your higher self, and you know that the Ark of the Covenant has truly been restored to you. So with that being said, my brother and my sisters, I want to thank you very much for listening to me, and I want to encourage you to like, comment, or to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and never to forget our ancestors when they bring a message of emancipation to us to set us free. Also, do not forget to check out my description down below. And as usual, I always give you the sign of enlightenment, of which Matthew 6:22 tells you, if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. And I've had the experience. That's the reason why, my brother and my sisters, I always say to you, when you have the experience, you'll come to realize that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N. And that is the dawning of a new day in your life. And that without the sun, there is no life, and there is no light. And that truly, the sun is the light of the world, and not a man who born 2,000 years ago as you've been taught. And you will also come to realize that the sun parallels the human imagination, and the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. And without the sun, there is no life, and there is no light. And we are the people of the sun. Therefore, my brother and my sister, I'm encouraging you to listen to the message of our ancestor Abdullah and learn to use your mind power to achieve your every desire. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you, I'm out.